Tonight, the final person accused in the killing of Megan Gallagher awaits his fate as a jury deliberates. Sask Poly students are abruptly left without a bookstore in Prince Albert and Moose Jaw. A lone Sandhill crane that's been spotted in Regina is causing a stir.
This is CBC Saskatchewan News.
It is Thursday, October 16th, and the CBC Saskatchewan News starts right now. The fate of Roderick Sutherland is now in the hands of a Saskatoon jury. Sutherland is charged with manslaughter, unlawful confinement, and offering an indignity to human remains in connection to the killing of Megan Gallagher. Gallagher was killed in 2020 in this Saskatoon garage. Justice John Morrell gave his instructions to the jury at Court of King's Bench on Thursday morning. They began deliberating in the afternoon. Sutherland is the last of 9 people to go through court in connection with Gallagher's murder. 2 women already pleaded guilty to manslaughter earlier this year. A man pleaded guilty to second-degree murder last year. A new Indigenous police force is in the works to serve 28 communities around northern Saskatchewan. As Jeremy Warren reports, it would work with the RCMP rather than replace it.
It's been years in the making, but now the Prince Albert Grand Council is a step closer to establishing its own police force. The council and its 12 First Nations it represents are meeting in Saskatoon this week for a policing and community safety conference. Up for discussion are the results of the consultations on the police force idea. The Grand Council's leaders say people are concerned the RCMP doesn't have enough boots on the ground to help their communities. They also heard concerns about long response times and a lack of cultural understanding.
I've talked to judges, I've talked to lawyers, people in their community saying that the whole intent of the RCMP things have changed in the last 10 years. And we need to evolve, we need to modernize with times.
An Indigenous-led police force is not unprecedented in the province. File Hill's First Nation established its own police force in 2002. Their 10 officers and 4 special constables serve 5 communities. The Prince Albert Grand Council's 50,000 members are spread throughout 28 communities in northern Saskatchewan. Talks about an Indigenous-led police force escalated in the wake of the mass stabbings at James Smith Cree Nation in 2022. Community consultations revealed safety concerns in the face of rising alcohol and crystal meth addictions, gang and gun activity, and increasing violence. The Grand Chief says its police force would work with the RCMP, not replace them.
This is doable by working together and moving forward into the future and giving our young people the opportunity, and at the end of the day, making our communities safe.
Putting a new police force on the ground is still years away, and the Grand Council's member nations will have to figure out what kind of policing model they want. The final report on the Grand Council's findings should be ready sometime this spring. Jeremy Warren, CBC News, Saskatoon.
Prime Minister Mark Carney has announced plans to get tough on crime. He says his government will hire 1,000 new RCMP officers and introduce new legislation next week to strengthen the criminal code. Among the changes will be making bail much harder to get for violent and organized crime offenses, including auto theft, break and enter, assault and sexual assault, human trafficking, and extortion.
With so-called reverse onus bail, it will no longer be up to the Crown to prove why someone should stay behind bars. It will be up to the accused to prove to the court why they can be trusted to be released. Their risk of reoffending and their history of past 10 years will be considered.
Carney said the legislation will also toughen sentencing standards for violent crimes, organized crime, and repeat offenders. It will also allow for consecutive sentencing for those crimes, so multiple sentences aren't served at the same time. Other changes include harsher punishment for organized retail theft and the elimination of conditional sentences for sexual assault. Now, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre has been calling for a crackdown on crime for months. His party dismissed Kearney's announcement, saying its own legislation, tabled in September, should be passed instead. A King's Bench judge has struck down a lawsuit alleging climate change inaction by the province. Climate Justice Saskatoon and 7 people sued the province and Sask Power in 2023. They alleged the expansion of gas-fired power plants violated their charter-protected rights. They also wanted stronger environmental policies. The ruling didn't consider the merits of issues raised in the lawsuit. The judge found the matter is not for the courts, that policy belongs in the provincial legislature.
I don't think it's the end of our case, because it's certainly not the end of our concern. You know, our fears for our future, our children's future and grandchildren's future remain intact. This decision from the judge does not take away the problem.
The environmental group is considering an appeal. Saskatchewan Polytechnic has shut down its campus bookstores in Prince Albert and Moose Jaw. Many students say they were blindsided and are now struggling to keep up. Aisha Ashraf has the story.
A final sale sign was the first clue that something was changing at Saskatchewan Polytechnic's Prince Albert campus. Days later, the bookstore was abruptly shut down. All of this now being boxed up. Sask Polytech says the closure is part of budget cuts linked to a drop in international enrollment. The school refused to comment further, but confirmed the Prince Albert and Moose Jaw locations are both affected. Here on campus, students say they're still trying to adjust. With the bookstore closed, students have been told to either buy digital versions or purchase textbooks online and get them shipped, a process that could take weeks. That's a concern for Julie Jenkins, a second-year hairstyling student.
Because of the wait for your books, you're going to have to wait and your classes are going to just keep moving forward, so you're going to fall behind.
Some students say the change is especially difficult for those coming from northern Saskatchewan.
Because a lot of people come from the north and they don't have permanent addresses. They come from little towns, reservations, and places that don't have actual addresses like that.
This student is sad to lose the personal connection at the store and says he learns better using physical copies of a textbook.
I love handheld copies. It's easier for me to pay attention as I have ADHD. I'm able to actually pay attention to my book work.
Most of the textbooks are not available at the Prince Albert Public Library. The director of library services is concerned that students won't have easy access to physical copies anymore and must learn from digital resources.
It adversely affects people's learning. If you're just reading it off a screen, it tends to lapse. It tends to just be in short-term memory.
For now, students who plan to order textbooks online are faced with the uncertainty of a postal strike and a long wait for the books they need. Aisha Ashraf, CBC News, Prince Albert.
Meanwhile, bookstore staff are not the only ones facing cutbacks at Sask Poly. This week, another 25 faculty members were let go. The opposition NDP says it's due to a lack of provincial funding.
Institutions should not be dependent on the intern students to fill the gaps for the budget shortfalls. So our institution should be properly funded. But somehow we are in this horrible position because of the funding cuts from the last number of years to these post-secondary education institutions.
Faculty officials say the cuts might push students away from smaller campuses. Previously, Sask Poly has blamed cuts on a significant drop in international enrollment. 3 unions have joined forces to speak out against what they call a crisis in healthcare. Workers in Prince Albert protested Thursday outside MLA Alana Ross's office. Ross didn't make an appearance while members of CUPE, SEIU West and SGEU walked outside. They say the SHA is delaying contract negotiations. CUPE employees say they've been without a contract for more than 2 years and haven't had a wage increase in 3.5. Union reps say healthcare workers and support staff have the lowest wages compared to their counterparts in Western Canada. And because of this, they're leaving. They also spoke out against the reintroduction of split shifts and doubling of on-call time.
In our collective agreement, people are allowed to be on call for 6 months. They want to be able to double that to people to be on call for 9 months because they do not have the staff they need. They want to be able to move people around this province irrespective of where you live.
Jallo says SHA managers are pushing employees to travel outside their home communities to cover positions during staff shortages. He also says many employees are burnt out from too much overtime. A pretty nice Thursday in Saskatoon with a view from the bridges that give the city its nickname. Temperatures still hanging out a bit above normal for this time of year, and it looks to stay that way through the coming weekend. But will it be that way for everyone in the province? Ethan Williams will answer that for you in his forecast after the break. Stay with us. A rare visitor in Regina's Wascana Centre has triggered a wild goose chase for a crane, specifically a Sandhill crane. It's been spotted in different areas of the park. It is unusual to see one inside the city and at this time of year. Now, dozens of people are flocking to areas of reported sightings in hopes to spot it. But as Aaliyah Marco Amene reports, that comes with concerns.
Early last week, a mother and son ventured out to look for a tall red-crowned bird. It took a while, but they eventually found the rare Sandhill crane.
I had seen him over there, right across from the entrance of Connexus. So then after school, I ended up bringing my son back and we were able to find him laying down.
Daisy Matchett-Orb says her son Chevy has been taking photos of birds since he was 6 years old. This crane was on his bucket list of birds to photograph.
He really, really likes cranes, but so does my grandmother. So my son actually wanted to get a picture of him for my grandmother.
But with more people on the search for the bird, the Wildlife Rescue Society of Saskatchewan has a message.
The bird is being crowded, dogs are chasing it.
Bonnie Dell with the society says it's likely the crane is injured. She says with winter on the way, it's more important than ever to leave it alone.
Leave it alone. Quit going out to look for it. Quit. Please don't post the location on social media.
Dell says the society is working with Salthaven West Wildlife Rehabilitation and Education Center to capture the crane and bring it into care. 8 dedicated volunteers are monitoring the bird until then. Aaliyah Marco Omene, CBC News, Regina.
Staying with animals, a small group of local volunteers is working to make life safer on reserves in northeast Saskatchewan, and they're doing it by finding homes for stray dogs. Locals say before the group, packs of animals roamed free, causing safety issues. But as Lisa Rissom explains, the Northern Pup Project is changing that.
Nope. You're okay. A stray dog, affectionately named Spooky, is getting some medical attention after a run-in with a porcupine. Volunteers from the Northern Pup Project give him antibiotics for his wounds.
Oh, they're awesome.
Hi, buddy. A handful of Northern Pup Project volunteers work on James Smith Cree Nation 370 in Muscadet. Besides assisting with food, shelter, and medical needs, the group promotes pet ownership instead of community-owned dogs.
It's a huge safety issue to have dogs just kind of running around and stuff, so we make it very important that every dog here has a home.
Band member Connie Mustus says before the group came along, the reserve was overrun with packs of stray dogs. Chief and council would hire local people to shoot aggressive dogs roaming the community. Mustus was scared of being attacked or bitten on walks.
It feels more safer than last time, because we used to always carry her on a stick or catch rides.
With the Pup Project's involvement, the practice of exterminating problem dogs has stopped. The local health clinic also reports the number of dog bites in the community has sharply declined. Vice Chief Adam Whitehead says their work has made the community a safer place.
It's one of our problems we have on the reserve sometimes is overpopulated dogs, and then when they get too much, they get aggressive and hungry and they start to hurt people, so we don't want that in our communities.
In the last 2 years, the group has adopted out over 200 puppies and stray dogs to forever homes. And around 80 dogs on James Smith have been spayed or neutered. Now the group has been asked to help dogs on neighboring Beardy's Okomasis First Nation.
It's humbling. I like to see that the people are being helped. They don't have a lot of resources and they don't have a lot of help.
But it comes at a cost. Indigenous Services Canada and the province offer no funding for animal welfare services on reserve. The Northern Pup Project operates solely on donations, including generous discounts from local veterinarians and money from band councils. Even with that, transportation costs and bills have put the group over $8,000 in debt. They'll have to fundraise to keep going through the winter months. Lisa Rism, CBC News, James Smith, Cree Nation.
And our weather specialist Ethan Williams joins me now. It is really nice dog walking weather.
Sure is. We've had some temperatures across parts of the province get above seasonal, well above seasonal in some cases, depending on where you were. Let's take a look at where those daytime highs ended up province-wide. We're talking about mid-teens in western parts of the province, Maple Creek, Meadow Lake, 15 and 16 degrees respectively. Even on the eastern side of the province, Hudson Bay up at 14 degrees, quite nice for this time of year. Some single digits in there, but even Wynyard at 9 degrees getting pretty close to those double digits. The sun helping warm things up, especially through central and western parts of the province. And you can kind of see a little bit further southeastward, we're still hanging on to some cloud cover there. Some rain beginning to move into the southeast. And yes, your eyes are not deceiving you. Those are some lightning strikes that you're seeing there on our satellite radar map, and that is because that Colorado low, which is moving up and it's going to bring some heavier rain to that southeast corner, could also produce some embedded thunderstorms overnight in the southeast and even as far north as Yorkton before that begins to move out into Friday morning, clearing the skies, but we'll watch for maybe some other showers in southwestern parts of the province as we get later into the afternoon on Friday. Then things start to quiet down a bit. Ridge of high pressure starts to build in, and we're left with clear skies for Saturday, and then that departs, and we're watching our next kind of low pressure system begin to move in from Alberta, which will likely bring some showers at least for us as we start the beginning of the next work week. So for south and central, we're still predicting maybe in excess of 20 millimeters in that southeast corner. And keep in mind, with thunderstorms, we could see some locally heavier amounts there. For the rest of us, though, through the southern half of the province, not really expecting much moisture. In the north, we are watching a little bit of a system that's going to be skirting by over the next couple of days, particularly impacting that northwest corner where we could see maybe in excess of 5 millimeters in places like Uranium City. All that moisture combined with some cooler temperatures going to produce some fog. We saw that overnight into early Thursday morning, likely going to see that again early Friday. So for Regina and portions of southeastern and east central Saskatchewan, watch for that visibility to be low as you head out on the road early Friday morning if you're heading to work, but should be out of your hair probably by the noon hour or so and leaving us with some clearer conditions. But as the fog clears, the wind is going to start to pick up. We'll be seeing some gusts in excess of 50 in southern Saskatchewan as we get through both Friday and likely into Saturday as well. But other than the wind, temperatures staying quite nice over these next few days. Double digits for Regina as the sun comes out for Saturday especially. And then we start to get into next week. There's that next system moving in on Monday. That could bring some showers for the Regina area with some cooler temperatures as the cold front moves through. But then things rebounding and we're back into double digits as we get into the middle of next week. For Saskatoon, that next system we're watching maybe some better chance of some showers being produced, especially on Monday, I think is when we'll be seeing those. Again, into single digits, but 10 degrees is normal for this time of year and we'll probably be around there. Even the overnight lows looking pretty seasonal for this time as well. So dog walking weather, Sam, looking pretty nice for tomorrow and even through these next few days as well.
I was going to say the city of Regina got some nice days for their fall street sweeping, which is now underway as well.
That's right, and hopefully the wind doesn't blow the leaves around too much.
All right, thanks, Ethan.
You bet.
The Saskatchewan Protective Services medal recipients were honored on Thursday in Saskatoon. To get one of those medals, a person must have 25 or more years of exemplary service in Saskatchewan in the protective services. That includes police, fire, corrections, border services, RCMP, armed forces, mobile crisis, and family violence outreach services. 2 previous medal ceremonies were held in Regina October 8th. In total, 149 people received that medal this year. We'll be back after the break. The City of Regina has launched a new app to make crossing the street in downtown safer and more accessible for people living with disabilities. It's called PED app. It works by giving verbal alerts and vibration signals to people who need help crossing the street safely. An advocate for CNIB says he was hesitant about the app's ability to allow him to walk safely and independently across the street, but he says it was actually quite helpful.
A little bit, skeptical in terms of how usable it would be, because it would be effectively diverting attention from traveling independently using a cane to, pulling out your phone and checking, figuring out where to press to enable the crossing signal. But I was very pleasantly surprised by how well the app worked.
So far, the app covers 9 intersections in downtown Regina. Eventually, it will expand to the rest of downtown and other high foot traffic areas by the end of this year. You can find the app on Google Play or in the Apple App Store. And Ethan is back with one last look at whether that southeast corner is going to get it.
It sure is. We're watching not only the rain, but the possibility of fog along with that rain in some areas. Let's take a look at exactly what we're going to be seeing overnight. Yeah, again, possibly 10 to 20 millimeters in that southeast corner there. Some thunderstorms possible as well. You work your way north and west from there, though. A pretty nice night with temperatures just around freezing and some clearing skies through the rest of south and central. Northern Saskatchewan experiencing a pretty nice night yourselves as well. That far northwest corner is where we're looking for some showers to be moving through. That's from that cold front, from that low pressure system moving through the Northwest Territories. That could bring some rain, continue to bring rain to far northern sections of the province through Friday, but otherwise expect partly to mostly cloudy day with some temperatures up around 10 degrees. South and central, the last of that rain starting to move out already by about 7 a.m. as we get into Friday, and then possibly some breaks in the clouds for that part of the province by the noon hour. For the rest of us, though, we'll see kind of a partly to mostly sunny day. Gusty, though, at times. We'll watch for some showers moving through the southwest as that fog burns off. So, Sam, a bit of a mixed bag forecast, but overall, not too bad.
All right. Thanks, Ethan.
You're welcome.
All right, that is it from us. For more news anytime, you can always head to cbc.ca/Sask or go subscribe to CBC Saskatchewan's YouTube channel. You can also download the CBC News app on your smartphone or tablet. Thanks for watching.